People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Now, allegedly, Arsenal are interested in Johan Bakayoko. Osimhen is keen on joining Arsenal. Kai Havertz has spoken. And yeah, there's a couple of bits and pieces to go over. As usual, smash the like button, get those creative juices flowing, and let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe. We're rapidly closing in on 60,000. If you give me a second and I can share my screen, we can get right into it, people. And there we go. Now, again, as we know, 99.9% of these rumours are BS. Where Osimhen's concerned, I do think there's a level of interest from Arsenal because we've previously been linked with him. And Charles Watts has said Arsenal, the summer we got Gabriel Jesus, we spoke with him. Obviously, he's a top level striker in a day and age where there isn't too many of those around. And evidently, Arsenal need a striker. Now, you never know what is reported by the journalists in a day and age where, it's just about engagement and making up stories. You never know. There could be some truth in it. Now, what is actually being reported and what's actually going to happen is completely different. But from what you've seen probably this week or the last 2 weeks or so in relation to Osimhen, in my opinion, it appears that essentially his wage demands are just making this a pricey move for either Arsenal, Chelsea, and other people interested in him. Allegedly, Victor Osimhen is ready to head to Arsenal after news that Chelsea have called their interest, according to a report, which I don't believe. The Napoli striker is one of Europe's most in-demand commodities, but there has been a major twist in the tale. Fabrizio Romano dropped some bombshell news on Friday when he revealed that Chelsea no longer view the Nigerian as their priority target. The Blues had been keen on the 25-year-old for months, but his 130 million euros price tag, age and salary mean that the West London Giants would rather target someone more affordable, claims the transfer expert. Now, I would say probably, the transfer fee and his wages. Obviously, I'm no accountant and things like that, but I think what tends to go over a lot of people's head is if somebody signed for, let's just say 100 million, not 130, someone signed for 100 million and they're on, let's just say 250, 300K a week on a 5-year deal, then considering, assuming that they fulfilled the 5-year contract, that's the true cost. So again, we're getting too technical, but, essentially 300 grand a week times 52, because there's 52 weeks in a year, times that by, I assume, a 5-year deal, makes it probably a bit too pricey. You have to pay the going rate. So probably his salary and his price tag. I don't think his age, because 25, 26, you're coming into your prime ages and you could still deliver and make a difference, people. PSG have also frequently been linked with Osimhen, who previously has played for Lille. And you look at the players that Lille have had in France, people, like they've had a ridiculous team at a point. As it says there, PSG have been linked with Osimhen, but little seems to have developed on that front today. Arsenal were thought to be fully out of the race, but the latest twist has just blown the transfer saga wide open again. Now, who knows, people? That kind of, we're going to get on to Benjamin Sesko, but in the last 24 to 48 to 72 hours, it's like Sesko. I wonder what the club would think. And let me know your thoughts. Would you rather go for Osimhen if we can believe these rumours and there's a genuine chance of prizing him away from Napoli, or would you persist with Sesko, people? Allegedly, Osimhen is keen on Arsenal. I think his first choice is Chelsea, but you look at our project, you look at the Premier League, the London aspect. I don't know for his wages, but probably wages, and what we're doing as a football club. Of course, he'll probably listen. Now, again, Gianluca Di Marzio knows a lot more about all these transfers than me. I can't criticize him and things, but it doesn't seem like he has the best of success rates where transfers are concerned. He said Declan Rice would reject Arsenal for City. People get things wrong, but according to him, Osimhen is open to joining the Gunners following the Chelsea revelation. It is, of course, still too early for concrete negotiations, but Arsenal could pounce on this opportunity. So it's essentially guesswork. It doesn't say anything about we've began talks, we've bidded. It's just a creative way of saying nothing is really happening at this moment in time, people. Apparently, he's keen on the Premier League move. He wants to emulate Didier Drogba, who was an idol of his growing up. We know he's got a hefty release clause in his Napoli contract. I can't say his name, but the Georgian lad, the winger, let's just call him KK, who's at Napoli, he could be going PSG. So if they get a big money transfer from PSG for him, obviously that probably makes it even harder to prize Osimhen away. Now, you could argue, did it make sense for Osimhen to sign that new deal at Napoli? Obviously, I believe that was made and created and engineered so that, he could leave through the front door, get you an important fee rather than leave, not a coward, but leave like a coward. So I'm not too sure. According to Romano, Arsenal are actually yet to decide on which striker to pursue this summer, having also been heavily linked with Benjamin Sesko, who I would love at the club, Gyökeres, who I've got a lot of admiration for, Ivan Toney, who I like, but I think we've gone away from that. Alexander Isak would be a dream, but if you've not got 100 odd million quid, I don't think Newcastle are entertaining anything there for the Swedish striker. So yeah, once again, apparently he's been offered to Arsenal. The club has not entered negotiations or discussions yet. They're actively exploring a limited group of strikers, prioritizing Benjamin Sesko, people. And again, just because it says negotiations between Chelsea and Napoli are off at the moment doesn't mean they can't be put back on track. So we'll have to watch those developments closely. Once again, we've seen this before. Romano has said every day we have a different rumour. One day it's Sesko done, one day Osimhen is coming, one day it's Gyökeres, one day it's this, one day it's that. Let Arsenal work. They're discussing internally about the striker, considering all the options they have, and they will decide what they want to do is also based on the budget. Arsenal don't want to spend crazy money. They want to spend smart money on the striker. This is why Arsenal haven't decided anything at all on Osimhen or any other striker yet. I mean, I think they've probably decided internally, you know, this is our first option. If that don't work, this is the contingency plan. But I do agree in that, you know, the journalists are doing their jobs. They're getting engagement. They're getting clickbait. They're making things happen. They're providing talking points for us, and especially people like me on YouTube. So I do think they've decided, but in terms of bids and all of these things, I don't think anything's happening. Maybe there's indirect discussions in the back burners. Romano has also dismissed any talk of Benjamin Sesko already agreeing a deal to Arsenal, as we've gone over, people. Dean Jones on Sesko has said, we expect developments on this situation this week, and one of the key moments has arrived in that it's been reported Arsenal turned the player's head to the extent he is indeed willing to make the move. If this is the case, then it means he's on board with understanding how he'd be used in the team, that he would accept he's not guaranteed game time and he'll have to earn it like anybody, really. And he did have to do that at Leipzig because he's ended the season strongly. He was behind Openda and whatnot initially in the season. It's significant, but we have to consider there are other factors at play, and he may well have imitated to other interested clubs that he's interested in their projects too. I think everybody does that, really and truly. It's a big step forward for Arsenal and Sesko, but we're still not quite at the stage of being able to say this is definitely going to happen. I've continued to hear Chelsea were lurking in the background on this player because he's a great opportunity at a good price point and could become their main man, Victor Osimhen backup plan. So we'll have to see. Everyone's still getting linked with the same people. I've actually got a video coming out on Johan Bakayoko. I'm just waiting on a thumbnail, people. Allegedly, the Arsenal have approached the 21-year-old PSV winger / forward, people, who would be great on the right wing as competition / a worthy rotation option for Saka. Think he can be a bit predictable on the left, but he's an exciting player. According to reports from this Dutch outlet, Arsenal have approached PSV. Now, we've been linked with a lot of Dutch players, Hato, Jimenez, the Hartman, the left back. We've obviously bought Timber, so it must be an area we're looking at, essentially, people. Obviously, the keeper from Final, Burgelow as well. So we probably know exactly what we're doing. And we obviously need a winger. Apparently Mikel Arteta would like a winger. Apparently we've approached them, people. He's previously worked with Arm Slot at Liverpool, who are still linked with him. Allegedly, Bayern Munich have joined the race. Manchester City were linked with him. He's had a hand in 14 goals and provided 14 assists in 48 outings since 2022, as it says here, people. Still think he's he's like a rough diamond. There's a lot of elements in his game that would need to be polished, but he's a decent player. And allegedly last summer he rejected PSG, Brentford and Burnley, people. So yeah, according to reports in his home country, Arsenal have made an approach to secure the signature. I mean, home country, isn't he Belgian? But okay, maybe I've got that wrong. With Liverpool also keen. Speaking to Dutch media, Bakayoko revealed that last summer ex-Burnley manager and former Belgium international, now Bayern Munich gaffer, Vincent Kompany tried to bring him to Turf Moor. He's been labelled an elite talent by Fabrizio Romano. I think he's a good player, but elite talent for me is Musiala, Pedri, Yalmal at Barcelona, them kind of players there, really and truly. But yeah, we know we at this point we're saying the same things in relation to Sesko. Kai Havertz has been speaking, people, and I like the confidence he's allegedly spoke with. I clearly see myself as a number 9 in the national team, and that's what I am now at Arsenal. So does that mean we can put to bed him playing central midfield? Of course, there might be a realm for him to improve there or be utilised there or have to play there if there's injuries, God forbid. But yeah, people, I don't mean the classic 9. Where else are they available? Even Haaland or Kane, who you immediately think of. Don't just stand in the box and wait for the finish. The players who are waiting there no longer exist in modern football. Fact, I'm someone who enjoys letting go and making deep runs, but it's also clear to me that I will be measured by goals. So keep doing what you're doing, really and truly. You a positive shadow of your former self in your Chelsea days. You had would it be fair to say in the terms of 2024, Kai Havertz could have been Arsenal's best player, essentially, you know, and he's endeared himself. He's come a long way, really and truly. So it's nice to see. He said, sometimes I think to myself that I'd rather be a student who lives in a cool city and lives his life. Boy, I would trade places with you. You think I want to be on YouTube? I'd love to be a professional footballer on 250 grand, 300 grand a week. You think I'd listen to any criticism from the fans and whatnot? But yeah. But that usually goes away pretty quickly because I love playing football, the hustle and bustle around it as part of it. That's fun too, of course, more than things are going well. But if that's not the case, things go extremely wrong, then you are devastated and exhausted because there's ridicule and criticism. But I can now deal with it very well and try to live my life as normal as possible. People are going to talk regardless. You could get 20 goals. People say why ain't you got 30? People always move the goalposts. I'm a bit tired of speaking about Bruno Gomares, but if you're a Newcastle fan listening, you lot have won in it because apparently Arsenal, City and PSG are all set to pass up the opportunity to sign Bruno Gomares, sources have told Football Insider. He's available for £100 million release clause, and last year towards the end he did sign a new deal, and apparently you have to, if you want to get him for his release clause, you have to do that before the 30th of June, which just because these teams have money, which Arsenal don't have the pockets that City and PSG have, but we do have finances. Even if you're PSG and City, just because you've got the money doesn't mean you want to spend that much, people. I can't blame Newcastle for wanting top money because there's a lot of midfielders that have gone for less. He's clearly key to their project. He signed a new deal, so everything's there, and apparently he's settled in Newcastle. A bit like Isaac at Sociedad. It's very easy to say in hindsight, but a bit like, in my opinion, a bit like Sociedad people. Isaac at Sociedad, where he's concerned, Isaac, where Bruno Gomares at Lyon, it's easy for me to say in hindsight it's a wonderful thing, but it's one where as a casual football fan or lover of the game, you think, why didn't we just go for them then? Like, they would have been expensive at the time. Hindsight is 2020, but it wouldn't be what we're seeing now, people. I love Bruno Gomares. I know not everybody is convinced. Zubimendi, keeping up the theme with central midfielders, has no interest in joining Arsenal despite the Gunners' strong interest. So another one bites the dust in that regard. And again, every journalist under the sun is talking about Arsenal remain the favourites to sign Benjamin Sesko. But until people are holding shirts and wearing scarves and being toured around the Emirates and London Coley and saying how, in his case, being 21, I watched Thierry Henry and Bergkamp and Perez and all of that. These are just talking points for us, people. So with that being said, you can rest assured if there's any other rumours and things like that, you know, I'll get the videos out for you lot, whether it's transfer rumours, whether it's, you know, my thoughts on the season, whether it's just, you know, random topics, you know, I'll get the content out for you lot. So yeah, you lot, let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
Like